but I actually mean. So if there's something specific I have to do, you're better off telling me than having me guess.
It's like a blind date, bro. You just show up and
a cold open.
For the best.
Cold open means we're live right now. That's what that means.
Okay, so a blind date. I mean,
we're actually live. Don't say anything.
Wait, are we actually live?
Yes, no, for real, we're live. Don't say anything.
I just said we're live right now. Was that not clear?
Well, see. Spencer, this is why I asked you to tell me what the blind open is. I mean, the comparison to a blind date is good. All of the dates that I go on are blind. So like that's totally normal. I'm used to that. Man. I just wasn't sure, man. That's
all right. Cold open. Done. Consider that done. Let's get this show on the road, everyone. Welcome to Live Trading with Benzinga. Let's do this thing.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas law, that phrase.
Kiana.
Fisher.
Joy.
Joe. Cards drawn are the past, ones to come are future.
And the best part? It's beatable.
All right, good morning, everybody. Hope your day's off to a good start. We are 15 minutes and change out from the open. I'm Spencer. There's Zunaid. There's Ryan. There's Mitch. I just want to apologize in advance, everyone. If I come off as cranky today, it's because I'm hungry and thirsty. I'm not supposed to eat or drink all day. So,
Yom Kippur.
Dude, I don't know how you do that.
You know what, Spencer? Shana Tova.
Thanks, Ryan.
You're welcome.
I don't know what that means, but yeah, what he said.
It actually means Happy New Year. You're a week late, but that's okay. So I'm just going to apologize for my grumpiness preemptively. That being said, not so grumpy about this market, everyone. We were down a lot more than we are right now, but thanks to an unexpectedly strong retail sales print in August, lower than expected jobless claims filed last week, we're looking okay. We're only down 0.13% in the S&P futures this morning, which is not bad, all things considered. Bitcoin is a smidge on the red, but whatever. So how are you guys doing this morning? What's on y'all's radar?
I'm doing really good. Bitcoin had a really strong day yesterday. I thought was nice. I'm doing pretty good this morning. What is on my radar? I mean, I'm going to watch the craziness in IRNT, right? This is, to me, feels like a SRPT 2.0. And so I don't believe in the stock. I think it feels kind of scammy and pumpy, but we're going to see what happens. This thing is liquid with options. It's gapping up this morning. So giddy up. Let's see what's going on.
Wait, is that a bounce off the 50 day? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I don't know if technicals actually work.
Well, it's been riding it. Well, speaking of that stock itself, I will look to see if it retests the highs that we see there close to the $60 mark. And then I'll go ahead and grab some puts there. I do want to go ahead. You know what? Matter of fact, let me go ahead and share my screen.
All right. You heard it here. He's buying puts at 60.
Let me go ahead and share my screen right over here. Pull them up. Awesome. High-end DP, I just wanted to kind of talk about the psychological levels of $10. Obviously, this was after hours and pre-market. I didn't trade it, but keep an eye on it. If it does come back to these levels, I would go ahead and get long around this, and my stop loss would be about like 980, give or take. So that's something I'm taking a look at. Played Microsoft yesterday. Still have that YOLO. Yes. I grabbed a couple more around this bottom, but still overall red on the YOLO. So I'm looking for a retest of this area, yesterday's lows. I would grab a position here and then, have a stop loss below 301.50. And then this is a breakout that you want to see right above 305.30 area. That's what I'm keeping an eye on. In terms of AMC, I still have my put. Again, as you can see, had a little bit of an up rally, still held on to it. Because I only have one contract. Majorities of those are gone. So those are the stocks that I'm kind of looking at. JD, by the way, I want to talk about two stocks. JD had some great flow yesterday, bounced off of the $75 level here, had a nice rally. So I'm looking to see if it makes a push over 77. And Twitter, I was doing a webinar yesterday, and we had over, I believe it was $3 to $4 million worth of flow that came in on the calls, as you can see, right around this one right here, 11:08 area. And you see that nice spike. So looking to see if Twitter goes over 62. And of course, any other plays that happen. I think I had Roy in the chat saying, you want to see me YOLO? What was it? INDP. I'll tell you what, Mitch, I don't know how many likes we're at, but if we get 200 by 9:29, Roy, I will go ahead and YOLO one contract for you.
Oh, no.
You go ahead and tell me the strike. Obviously, let's do it weekly, but you tell me the strike. And if we can get 200 likes before the open, I will happily do it. No problem whatsoever. And I'll also share the notification on screen. That way you know I bought it.
Can we call it let's call it a daily because it expires tomorrow. It's a one day.
I know. I just didn't want Homeboy to be like, yo, get it January 2022. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. Okay. So you're here 200 likes. What was it? 929. We'll
929.
We'll say before the open. 200 likes before the open or by the open. And Zunaid will buy one call.
Yeah, and Roy, let me know which one you want me to buy, Roy. I'll let you dictate.
Oh, Lord. Okay, we're at 63 right now, so we're a bit of a ways away. So Zunaid, you're looking okay on that front. Ryan, what are you watching this morning?
Well, I'm watching IRNT as I kind of
Yeah.
mentioned at the onset there, but also AGIL. I gave this to you a couple of days ago. I feel like this one has possible squeeze potential. Looks like we're gapping up here a little bit today. We bled back some of the gap, but we're still kind of holding higher. So I want to see if this actually kind of takes hold, if the volume starts to flow in here. As far as some of the bigger cap names, I want to see what happens with Apple, right? We had talked about Apple recently and some possible trading opportunities here. We're sitting below this 150. Zunaid, I think that you have a short under 150 a couple of days ago. Mm-hmm. So I actually think that this is probably it. I think that we probably reverse and retest 150. Unsure if we do that today, but that's something else that I'm watching.
And Mitch, what are you watching today?
All right, so I did take a swing trade in Pub M. We'll see if it breaks out of that daily range. This is one I like. I did see a recent deal from MGNI with a sports betting partner, and I think you're going to start seeing more of these. We've already seen programmatic step into the sports gambling space, but I think you're going to continue to see programmatic companies join in with the sports betting. I mean, essentially, that's also a part of the business that Genie does. And that's why I also like Genie. Of course, let's get out of the gambling. Well, there's one more, RSI, right? There's rumors on it supposedly maybe being bought out by Fanatics. Fanatics has talked to two providers, RSI being one, another one. I think it was maybe Chris is out there, can let me know exactly the company. It's more of a European play, not a pure play here. In the United States, but we'll see if RSI can really continue making the lift. That rumor really brought it out yesterday. This is one that I had at 1050. Of course, I wanted to buy it back at 1120 and never got to that gap down. It only went towards 11, but I'm watching it today to see for an extension. GT is another one to keep on watch. It's another D-SPAC that's been doing well recently. This is Goodyear Tire. Can you imagine that, guys?
Wait. That wasn't a SPAC.
Yeah, it was.
GT?
GT?
Fight.
Goodyear Tire.
I think at one point it was.
No way.
Look back at it. Whatever. I'm not stressing it too much. At the end of the day, it did make a nice candle yesterday. That's what I'm paying attention to. Nice push from about 16 up there towards 1734. Good push on up. We'll see if it breaks through this trend and starts going towards 19. Not a bad one to watch, consumer cyclical and auto parts, and I'm sure not being watched by many, but 10 million shares traded yesterday, double the shares in a nice and bullish engulfing candle. Another one that you guys can keep a watch on today is Dell. I was going to tell Zunaid about this one just because it's close to that $100 price point.
Ooh, I'm glad.
Looks like that YOLO type of trade. Look at the weekly. Just starting to push towards the 100, trying to get above there. We'll see if Dell can make a move on up. It has gone sideways for about, you're talking about now about 5.3 months. So 5 months sideways action. Let's see if it breaks out of that.
I just set an alert, so that's awesome. A couple of things. Mr. Spencer.
Mhm.
Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company, GT, announces a collaboration. Plus is expected to merge with SPAC Hennessy Capital Investment Group August 23rd, 2021.
Huh.
What happened?
No.
Seeking Alpha. Take
I'm
that for
right.
what you will.
I'm right here. Goodyear Tire. So okay,
Pinkies up.
maybe we're both right. Goodyear Tire itself did not merge with. It is not a de-SPAC company. It's been around forever, right? Maybe
Right.
they bought a SPAC that bought somebody else. Maybe there was a SPAC that bought somebody and then that merged with Goodyear. Maybe, but Goodyear
Maybe.
Tire.
I'll let you figure it out. But by the way, Roy, INDP, I just looked at it to kind of position myself to buy options. They don't have any options, pal. At least, like, come on. If you're going to tell me to YOLO something, make sure I can buy options. And plus, we're nowhere near 200 likes as far as I know. So, Roy, give me another ticker that you want me to YOLO on. But again, we got to get to 200 likes. We've got about 7 minutes to go.
I am going to keep watching uranium, everyone. Whether you're looking at the ETF,
You're going to watch my what?
Uranium.
Spencer's gonna watch uranium, guys.
URA. I'm looking at CCO, looking at NXE, looking at PDN. These are all uranium plays. They've all been running. I got yelled at yesterday for not knowing why. So there, still going to watching the continuation in the uranium trade today. There's no reason for the trend to change right now. I mean, everything is still ripping here. So a lot of these stocks have no market in the pre-market. So we'll watch them out off the open and see what it gives. Also going to watch EA, which was very volatile yesterday, off the open as well, just to see because EA. Where's my charts? EA didn't have a great day until the close, when it all of a sudden made up some of those gains, some of those losses. So, and then it gave back those gains in the after hour session. So, watching EA, watching uranium, those are kind of the top stocks on my radar. Biggest mover this morning from the ratings land is Beyond Meat, so we're going to watch that as well. It's been in a bit of a long-term downtrend ever since the mania kind of ended a couple years ago. I guess you can call it a trading range. I wouldn't quite maybe call it a downtrend now, but going to watch Beyond Meat as well, off the downgrade from Piper Sandler to their version of a sell in a $95 price target. We are 5 minutes into the open. Sorry, away from the open.
One more thing, Spence. You were talking about the uranium play. Hector here in the chat correctly pointing out DNN is a pure uranium play. DNN actually right near the highs here, 181 looks to be a resistance area, 180, 181 area. There were massive sweeps on this name earlier this week. So this actually plays into the uranium as well. We are at a point where we might be able to get a pop and a break there. Hector, good shout out on DNN, Denison Mines.
Yeah, very good shout out.
Folks in the chat are asking about CEI. It's got a low of about $1.35 in the pre-market, so that's where I'm setting an alert. The closer to $1 that you buy this, the better your risk reward, right? Buy closer to $1, sell it at 90 cents below stop loss. But again, this is something that's been talked about in the FinTech world for a much higher move. Keep in mind, it has come from about 50 cents, so it's already up about 2x. So keep that in mind. But someone asked about it in the chat, 135 is your low. I've got an alert set there in case I want to go buy some at 135. Stop loss for me would be below 130, 125. But the closer to 1 that you buy the stock, the better your risk reward. Breakout, of course, over 180, which is the other high from yesterday.
All right.
AFRM, Spencer.
Enough.
Someone's talking about it in the chat.
Why?
Over 110 and basing is where I would try to go. Stop loss would be below 109. And the next buy area for me would be about 103 and then about $100. So those are my levels. $100 is the main one here. Right over there.
Any thoughts on Snowflake? Yeah, you, Eduardo. No, I'm just kidding. Eduardo, Snowflake. The problem with Snowflake is, like, maybe you believe in it long term. I'm not one to say otherwise, but it's just sort of favor all these growth stocks, right? We're not really in a good environment for a lot of these growth. I know it's come back along a bit of a ways from May, but this thing was over $400 right last year, and all these stocks got punished so hard I don't know. I really don't know what this. What's the midpoint of the all-time high and the all-time low? The all-time high is 429. The all-time low was 184. Okay, so we're what, 3/4 of the way, 2/3 of the way between the all-time high and the all-time low. So we've here's the good news is we've made up more than half those losses, right? From the high to the low, the peak to the trough. That's the good news. But how many people are stuck at 350, at 380, at 4? I don't know, but
so Spencer, so let's take a look at that. So first of all, the stock spent a total of 3 days above 400, and two of those days it wasn't over 400 the entire session.
All right.
So not a lot of people are stuck there at 400.
All right.
I see in here Noah mentioned that Snow had a lockup after the IPO. This was also hyped, right? So this big spike that we got that took this to that high of what, 428, 429, whatever you said, that was obviously on hype. That equalized right away. There was the lockup after that. But to be honest with you, the recent trading in this is encouraging. It's almost like a staircase. We're kind of building back up here. 321. We're not, we're 79 points from 400. Realistically, the next point you're looking at is about 330. Probably a little bit more resistance at 340 and then 360. So it's kind of gappy between some of these round 10 numbers here. I think if you continue, I see Hex Pony saying Snow equals Neil's rounding bottom fetish.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to ask Neil about that one, man. I don't speak for him on that, but this does look like this put in a nice bottom, and we are definitely rounding off of that. We're off the bottom quite a bit here. So,
all right, we are 20 seconds away from the open.
I need my 911 Bros Dutch Bros coffee. I heard they have a 5 espresso shot coffee that I need this morning. I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling it. I can use some espresso and Bros, man.
I can't wait till Monday. I want to hear how Matt Hammond. I'm sure Matt Hammond is probably in this thing right now.
I can't blame him.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, I've never seen a line like we're talking 20, 30 cars for a drive-through coffee place. Bros is one I've seen that. I've never seen that even for Starbucks. I've seen like maybe like a 10-car pile up
for Starbucks.
10,
Starbucks
15.
around me, it's nuts.
Yeah.
I've never seen 30 cars. So I've seen it around the parking lot and out the place. So, I mean, Bros Coffee.
All right, there's our opening bell. You heard it. Let's get the show on the road. We've got the scanner tool up in the Benzinga Pro. Let's watch the charts, watch the movers, watch the news feed, and see what's going on.
IRNT real quick, right out of the gate here, we're weak out of the open. Options look like they're getting some action here. This might be people closing their positions from yesterday. No trade yet. Nothing.
Boy, look at those puts and the spread on them. $3 to $7 for the 39, $5, $7,
$560 to $850 for
to $850 for the 40s, and that's got about 800 open interest on it. So
and these expire tomorrow. He's expired tomorrow.
For me, it's the spread. I can understand the volatility and the price point, right? Because if it drops, it's going to drop handsomely. But good God, those spreads make me not want to play it. So far, it's got that $40 bounce, and not surprised at all. The question is it going to go above 45 or below? So that's what I'm looking at, right? If you're going to try to go long above 45. If you're trying to go short below 40 with a stop loss above VWAP.
And one of the things that's going on with me right now is like I watched SPRT do its crazy thing, and I feel like this one is similar. I do not believe necessarily in this company or in the current price, but the recent price action on some of the crazy stuff that we've seen makes me want to take a YOLO here, take a page out of Z's book and try to YOLO some of these calls. It's going to be difficult to see. I do agree, Zunaid, we are bouncing off that 40 level. That was also a bounce off that in the pre-market. Let's see if we can hold it. Maybe there's an opportunity here.
Let's see what happens.
All right, watching what? That's an interesting move. Is that? Hold on a second.
Wait, what's going on?
No, sorry. I'm just watching some 5-minute movers here. TWKS off the open.
Any getting some play yesterday. This thing was monster yesterday. Multiple opportunities. Looks like we're getting some volume here off the open.
Wow, surprising influence. We haven't talked about analysts too much. I mean, I know I mentioned Beyond Meat today, but I'm surprised to see DoorDash off the open here. DoorDash got some love this morning from Bank of America. They gave it a $255 price target and a buy rating, and Dash is now up 2%. It popped to 221 off the open here. So surprised to see that Dash move off that, but there we go. What else is moving this morning? Macy's is moving this morning higher. I mean, the whole market's moving higher, more or less. Look at Macy's, guys, above 21 now.
Very
UPST
quickly, that was
is going
the one
as
that I
well.
looked at with the retail sales.
Yeah, that's a great point, Mitch. That's it right there. Strong retail sales for the month of August. So let's take a look across the board here. We see Macy's. Yep, you see Kohl's, you see TJX moving, you see DLTR a little bit. What else am I?
Was it JWN that made a massive move recently?
Yeah, look at JWN. Good call out.
You gotta know your recent movers. Let's see if we get a big pop back up.
Yeah, JWN looks like it has found its near-term bottom here. That is a good call. We'll watch that. LVS week again off that Macau stuff.
The casinos that can't stop.
Yeah.
Won't stop.
Well, tell you the truth, it's the get out of China trade.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's if you own anything China, I would sell it. I don't even care if I'm in the profit, the losses, whatever.
We've been talking about that for a long time. Be very, very careful. I tweeted that the other day too.
It's almost like they're purposely trying to destroy the market. I mean, I've gotten to that point where I think they're purposely trying to bring us down. But
keep an eye on UPST. It's around the 285 area. You can grab a small size here, grab a little bit more at 283, which is around VWAP, and then grab a little bit more around 280 if you want, right? So you're kind of getting small chunks, and your total stop loss would be low of day, which is about 277. If you wanted to YOLO a big contract, you could YOLO the 290s. But if you wanted to go a little bit smaller, you could YOLO the 300 calls, which are about $1.75 right now. So keep an eye on that. I will grab a small size here as a test VWAP. Again, very small because my stop loss is like $5. So I'm grabbing a very small size. My target is I wanted to kind of test at least the previous highs, which was about, let's see what this says. So about 294 area. I would love for it to get around there, maybe even test 300 before the week ends. But again, that's what I'm looking at. Your risk reward. Make sure you trade accordingly.
Want to bring everyone's attention to Avis budget. Not all-time highs, but might as well be, frankly, right? We, there was that bankruptcy thing in 2006 or whatever, the reorg there. But we are at a high. What is that? It's a 15-year high right now. Just made it, right? The prior high was made back in June. We just surpassed that. So there is nothing in the book here on Avis Budget Group. Pure uptrend. And we just broke through. Whatever little resistance we had is gone. So watching car.
You've got about $100,000 coming into ticker IRNT, $60 calls that expire tomorrow. They paid about $4. So you can keep an eye on that. Again, if you wanted to go short the name, you can do it here, but your stop loss would be right above VWAP. So you're risking very little to try to gain a lot. If you're trying to go long, you would want it to be above VWAP, base a little bit, and then you can target the $50 area. But I would definitely try to sell some at the 48 area there before it tries to hit the 50.
Yeah, and I was watching that as that was happening, Zunaid. I saw those sweeps come in there. They looked like they paid for it. Ask of 380 now, 370 now. What was interesting is as soon as those sweeps came in, the price kind of reversed, right? It looked like it was trying to, I have a 5-minute candle here. It looked like it was trying to kind of hammer off that candle and reverse and looked like it was going to turn around, but immediately got slammed back down. So this is what I mean about being careful with some of these. I wanted to play this too, but hard. And take a look at Apple. Take a look at Apple real quick. That thing looked like it was going to go out of the gate. Sorry, I didn't have it up. I thought Spencer was going to pull it up. It looked like it was going to go out of the gate. Boom! Immediately slammed back down.
We got one. I'm no lie. I wish I was in it. I've been watching Palantir for a while. Nice breakout in Palantir today.
I saw a headline on Palantir. I didn't have time to read the article yet, but from Bloomberg, they reported about Palantir's dealings with Facebook and Cambridge Analytica and lying to the public about it. So I saw that last night, but I didn't have time to look too close into it.
Remember, one of the things that we talked about on PLTR was a breakout of this formation here, right? These peaks here that are about at 2750. Looks like that's what we're doing today. Mitch, to your point, it'd be interesting to see if we hold above this tomorrow. This might be a nice opportunity for a swing.
All right.
Yeah, good legs up. And 21 is the big price point where it got all the contracts. That's where you saw it hold support multiple times.
All right, this is concerning to me as a shareholder of Starbucks who's long from like 85 or 90, somewhere in that area. This is not good. Okay, we are knocking on the door of yesterday's low of 113.12. We're at 113. We're in the 60s right now. Nah, I don't like. I really, really, really want to see us hold. If we can't hold that, then please at least hold a 200-day.
Might buy a Starbucks put.
But this is concerning to me.
No, it really is concerning. I mean, when you think about the exposure to China, it's massive. It's not little.
Yeah.
No. Oh yeah. It was. It's so funny, right? Because like for so many years, any company entering China, that was considered good news because it was such a growth market. Whether it's Starbucks, whether it's Nike, Yum Brands, whatever, right? Tesla, entering China was seen as a good thing. Now, I'm not so sure. So this is concerning. If we can't hold 113, then I'd consider selling here. And I'm up like $20.
I'm looking for a bounce to 114.25s to hit the 113 strike on the put.
If you wanted to get into Palantir, it's about to test VWAP in about 10 seconds or so. Your stop loss would be right below 2750. Your profit target, the first one would be 2790, and then anything above that, you can try to have as a runner.
Crazy. Those puts are already up about 76 and 80%. Those Starbucks puts that are really right on the strike price. So.
See what's going on with Tesla. Tesla is testing the 750 area. I want to see what happens here. And it immediately just said, I'm going to go a little bit lower.
Keeping an eye on the like number to see if we're going to get a YOLO from Zunaid today. We're at 126 on the like front. Reminder, at 200 likes, Zunaid will buy a YOLO call.
I'll buy a YOLO call that Roy spits out. I'm going to try. So this is where I'm going to go ahead and grab like that one share theory just to see what happens. But obviously grab a very, very small size on Tesla here. My stop loss will be below 159. So I'm literally setting it at 748.90. I will be taken out of this trade. Basically, I just want to see if it gets that 750 bounce. My target will be, let's call it 752 will be the target. So let's see what happens. I'll keep you guys posted. Just a fun little trade to see if it actually works out or not. But it is down. So that's another thing, right? It's down $5. It's not like it necessarily has strength, but that's kind of what I'm looking at. If you wanted to get into that UPST, what's up?
IronNet halted on a circuit breaker.
I'm going to grab a UPST.
Downside, sir. Downside, by the way. Downside halt.
Yes.
Thank you, Ken, for shouting that out.
Just went ahead and grabbed UPST. The 290 calls for 270. My stop loss will be below low of day, which is about 277. First profit target will be near VWAP, which is about 282.50. So I'll probably sell it for about, I'm going to put a limit order out here for $3.10. And we'll see what happens.
Is C3 AI breaking out? This is part of that snowflake group that was just ridiculously in favor for whatever reason and it's been punished since then. Is it breaking out? What? I'm just curious. Who said that in the chat? I'm curious, Vic. What are you seeing on this chart? I don't have. I've got one indicator up. I've got a 50-day moving average, right? So what indicator are you seeing to indicate a breakout? I'm not seeing any breakout. I'm seeing a long-term downtrend. Actually, it's bottoming here, but seeing a long-term nothing trend. I don't know.
In regard to,
AGIL.
go ahead.
AGIL. We talked about this past couple of days. Looking crazy. I'm actually just going to take a stab at this right here.
Yeah, do it.
All right, YOLO stab in at 1438, just a couple of hundred shares. They got this thing to 7. Definitely has some squeeze type potential here. So I want to see how this is going to go. Stop is really going to kind of be low a day. Got to be really careful here though. Winning small, only 300 shares, so not really risking a lot. But hoping that this can kind of squeeze here.
I love those YOLO trades.
For IRNT, right? Maybe if you wanted to just play a small size, you can look at the $35 area. Would be the next level, if you will. It was the aftermarket support, so you can take a look at that one for that ticker there. I probably won't get in till about $30 for a bounce, but if you wanted to play a little bit riskier, you could go ahead and do it.
Yeah, speaking of risk, let me be very, very clear what's going on with my trade here. So this is definitely a high risk trade. I'm basically going on a gut feeling, and this could easily go against me. So I mean, unless you have what feels like really good entry or some type of entry signal, I don't necessarily advise following. I just have a gut feeling here. YOLO Z's got me in the mood for a YOLO. It's Thursday. We got football on tonight. I'm just trying to justify it. Anyway.
I love it. And real quick, I went ahead and exited half the position, as I mentioned, at $3.10 on the UPST. So I'm out there now. It's trying to go above VWAP. I wanted to go ahead and test 284.50. I will get out another half, and then the rest I will wait for it to try to get towards 290. So that's UPST. In terms of Palantir, bounced off of the VWAP. So if you took that idea, you should be at least in about 20 to 25 cent profit there. IRNT doesn't look like it's unhalted just yet, but yeah.
I was going to say 9:45, 35, 9:45 and 35 seconds. That's the time that IRNT is supposed to come out of the halt. So that's 30 seconds from now.
All right, guys, just want to point out some sector analysis here. Of course, so real estate is actually leading us right now, financials and consumer defensives right behind that. And this is from the open, 0.23% for real estate, 0.14% for financial services, and defensives right behind it.
All right, here we go on INRT coming out of the halt. IRNT, sorry. I don't know what it is. Whatever I said.
You said INRT.
There we go. Oh, we came out at $3 below the last print.
How are the other twos doing? The TMC and also OPAD.
Dude, this is why this is just trading stocks that are in a halt, whether it's upside or downside, is freaking terrifying. Because they can open anywhere.
Yeah, the last thing you want is a market order out there.
I was just about to say.
Oh, man. All right.
But hold on. This is a different type of market order, Mr. Mitch.
There's no such thing as
I would never
I
would never advocate a market order for a stock.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Come on.
You don't advertise market orders anytime.
All
That's
right.
what I
Stop
say.
it.
All right.
Market's pulling here pretty good, guys.
Yeah.
Still haven't used the market order once, guys.
Yeah, SPY is low.
Oh, stopped out of AGIL. Ooh, that turned bad
Strictly
in a hurry.
top 10, asking
All
if
right.
we have some unusual options activity to talk about.
Do you guys have UOA today? I actually haven't been watching this.
There's nothing too crazy that I'm seeing. Maybe just like $100,000 stuff. Nothing too crazy whatsoever. We mentioned IRNT having a couple, but again, nothing to really write home about at all. Just that $60 calls that someone put $100,000 in. But again, the stock didn't really react to that. If you're going to try to get in, watch for a base over 40, and then you can take it there with a stop loss below. But that's really about it that I'm seeing.
Let's go back to the scanner.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of.
All right, we just tested a new low of the day in the SPY, but then we immediately just bounced off it. So
yeah, you got to be careful for that quick flush down. But the Qs aren't looking too bad. We did.
Yeah, they're looking okay. So you can see right there that low candle we just made on the 1 minute chart. This is the SPY, coincides with the pre-market low right there. So we're testing.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of a pullback. I mean, when you see the sectors also real estate, financial services, and consumer defensives at the top, that just shows you that there's some downside action.
That's right.
That's just as clear as day.
Well, you've got somewhat of a relevant strength in Palantir. So
That's
still looking
for sure.
to break out of the $28 level there.
Look at that. That's looking beautiful.
303 for Microsoft. Still bouncing around. I should probably, this call option's not going to do well.
Palantir looks like a good Lucid. Let me say that.
Wait, what did you say? A good Lucid?
Yeah, good Lucid. I've been waiting for Lucid to break out of that range also, which is to break out through 30. But Palantir is doing it first. And they're both really, really hype stocks. Like, I mean, if you look at the social aspects to these, they're talked about almost every single day.
What do you think about the trading action today in Lucid, Mitch?
It's still in a chop fest. To me, this is just chop city between the shadows. One thing that's helping it is it gets a Bank of America raise, then it gets a downgrade. Upgrades, downgrades until we break
Palantir break $28. Sorry, I don't have my chart up, so I don't know if that's what you guys are talking about.
You're good.
Here, I can pull it up real quick. Yeah, so it has that break. That's the 10-minute. If you go ahead and look at the 1 minute, finally breaking out here. We mentioned it, right? Off of these VWAPs, that's where you want to buy it. Stop loss below. So you're kind of enjoying yourself right there.
Did you
take some profits if
enjoying ourselves?
Come on, stop it.
And I know how it goes.
If you took the trade,
my man.
If you took the trade, but that's what we've got going on in that stock. Let's see what's going on.
I want to point out this divergence between Uber and DoorDash in the last month.
Mm-hmm.
Look at I know they're not quite the same. Right? Uber obviously does more than food delivery, but look at the divergence, and it's only getting bigger. Look at DoorDash today; it's up 5%.
Do you feel business travel is hurting Uber and not hurting Dash as much?
Well, I don't know why it would hurt Dash at all.
Well, it wouldn't hurt Dash, right? But it could hurt Uber, right?
Yeah, that's possible. I could get behind that.
Just because, I mean, I'm just thinking about it. I'm like, okay, so there's more remote workers, not that many people going into, let's say, big cities where you see Ubers used at a higher rate in like downtowns. And I mean, there's alternatives. I think, some people are even taking the little scooter to work instead of hopping onto the Uber.
Wait, I want
the little razor that they have. Yeah,
well, I like those.
You saw them in Detroit, didn't you, Mitch?
I ripped them around. You know how I do.
Hey, all right.
I want to address this question from Scott Harrison. Scott says he's adding to his Luckin Coffee position. Seriously, Scott, why are you adding to Luckin Coffee? Well, why are you buying it at all? I'm not trying to crap on you. I'm just curious. What is it about Luckin? I see the stock's in an uptrend, but why do you want to own this stock?
Just buy Hertz, bro.
No, seriously, I'm not trying to be mean or anything. I genuinely want.
Yeah, he genuinely wants to know
why Scott wants to buy. I mean, the stock's in an uptrend, right? I mean, it is what it is. I'm just curious. This is a company that had massive fraud, got delisted, and then trades on the OTC markets now. I mean, I don't know.
Real quick, UPST is around that $280 area. I'm gonna go and grab a contract, the same exact one that I sold for $310. I grabbed it for $222. Stop loss will be below low of day. I'm gonna sell it again when it tests VWAP around 282 area. I'll probably sell an order right here for $2.75 is my limit order that I've placed out. Bought it at 222. 275 is my limit order out there.
TMC looking interesting, starting to get there towards the VWAP. That could potentially run like IRNT. We'll see if it gets running or not.
Palantir poked above 28 twice and then came right on back down. I'll go ahead and grab as a quick mover $28 calls here, but if it goes below 27.70, I will be out. Basically below VWAP, I'll be out.
I saw Hab Talem was asking, remember your comments about GREE. I'm not sure what comments you're referring to. GREE, greenage, Generate. This is what SPRT became.
That's probably what he's meant. That's probably what he's talking about.
Yeah,
Because you mentioned it yesterday.
I don't know what the conversion was. How many shares?
I think it was 1 for 8.
1 for 8. Okay, thank you. Yeah, that makes sense, especially at this price point. So this is interesting. This one, given what we saw in SPRT, this could actually rip. I don't think this is going higher on fundamentals or anything like that. But as far as actually trading, I mean, definitely some buying volume here, kind of a rounding bottom on the intraday chart. I guess this could push up towards 50. And if we break 50, maybe the trade could be on. But again, this is not something that I believe in long term.
All right, guys. SPY starting to fall there, starting to fall pretty quickly there on the 5-minute. You see it.
There's a new low. Good call out, Mitch. Thank you.
Yeah, just want to make sure that everyone sees it. Everything's dropping now fast. The Qs, the SPY.
Yeah,
I'm definitely hands off now. This is when I start being like, no more longs. There's a rule. Overall market going down. I'm not longing anything.
We are now red in everything except for the banks, which are holding on by a thread here.
The one that I wanted to short didn't get to the VWAP. Starbucks just didn't get back up there towards 114. Now starting heading down towards the low. We'll see if it holds that 113. One that I did see going down also Disney. Look at this move. Hard down action in Disney. A lot of people expecting positive.
Look at
Disney getting crushed.
Crush is a strong word. It's down. It's down $1.72.
A lot of people were expecting this to break out. That's why.
All right.
That's I think
you get him, Spencer. Let him know.
You go around on Twitter right now. Put in Disney.
1%. It's not 1%. Let's
put in Disney. You'll see a lot of long
AGIL. Let's take a look at it
again.
Okay.
See, so here's the thing. So let's kind of discuss the premise here. So I bought this on a YOLO, which means here. Let me pull up my actual broker. Because that'll be easier. You can actually see the buys and the sells and things. So hang on. Let me go through this here. All right. So here we go. So this is what I'm looking at here. So I actually bought this 1450. Looks to be one of the points here. When we crossed through that, I was filled at like 1438. As we started to come back in, it was this candle. Let me zoom in a little bit here. It was this candle right here. It was just a really, really quick flush. And it was like, oh boy, I don't know. And we kind of turned back up here. So the key here is that, like, if you want to stay in this, your conviction has to be the premier part of your plan. In my plan here, it was kind of a YOLO, right? So I have to obey my stop. Even if I do think that this has squeeze potential and could possibly go to 20 or maybe even higher, I have to obey my stop, because if this gets slammed down to 12 or 11, now I'm down several points on several hundred shares. And even though I reduced my size, I still might be going through some pain. Now we see this went up right above 15. Look at how hard they've pulled this. We're down a full point from just a minute ago where this thing was making highs. So I was a little bummed. We initially went up. It wasn't really holding it. I was a little bit bummed. I was stopped out for a small profit of $100 here, $120. But the play here is I really wanted this to keep going. The key thing to remember is that while it can go in your direction, it can also move in the opposite direction and go fast. So I kind of saw that was happening. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to cut it here. I'm going to get stopped out here. It is what it is. This is where I'm at. So this thing might go higher. If it does, I'll look to rebuy this, right? It's okay. If I didn't make what I was hoping to make on the first trade, no big deal. You can always rebuy this if this sets up again. The last thing that I want to do is expose myself and take too big of a loss. Now that I have a little bit of a profit, I have a little bit of a buffer zone. So maybe I can kind of back that stop or back my max pain point off a little bit if I take this trade again.
Good analysis, Ryan. Thank you.
Are you being sarcastic? Is this cranky?
No.
Just making sure. Just making
No.
sure.
That was genuine.
And you know, the other thing that factored into that is the market poll. All of you guys announced it. All of you guys saw it at the same time. I'm sure everyone in the chat saw it as well. When the market's pulling like that, you have a tendency to want to go risk off. So we'll see what happens. If we get some relative strength, that might help us set up another entry.
All right, we've got a lull in the conversation here, so let me do our first crypto update of the day.
Kind of a mixed board today.
Yeah, some red, some green. Bitcoin down a smidge. Ethereum's looking nice.
Can I interrupt you real quick? Sorry. I just want to update on the trade that I had. The UPST that I bought at 220, I went ahead and sold it, as I mentioned, at the 270 area. The rest I'm going to hold to see if it goes above VWAP. I just want to let people know since we got in that trade.
All right, Bitcoin down a little over 0.5%. Ethereum looking nice today, up 3.78%. Luna's looking strong, up over 5%. Most of the majors though in the red for the day. I feel like a broken record every time I look at these charts because actually Bitcoin did kind of break out of that range the other day. Was it yesterday? Yeah, looks like it was yesterday. So okay, next psychological level is 50, right? 50K. Big number. We're still 2.5K off that, but that's the next number for me. Double top between yesterday and today, though, is also notable. What's the double top there? 48.5. 48.5 is also important to me.
That formation is bullish to my eye, Spencer. Right? We pushed up there. We kind of corrected with that big red candle that you see right there.
Yep.
And then we kind of found a bottom and kind of curled back up towards the top. To me, that's healthy price discovery.
Yeah.
I'm not panicking. And this is one of the reasons why I don't trade Bitcoin is because seeing that kind of move might cause you to actually alter your plan. I'm just in this for the long term. I think this is healthy price action. We'll see if it pans out.
Yeah, well, I think we're all in Bitcoin for the long term. Ethereum, I'm in that for the long term too. Same exact chart, same exact pattern, same exact formation. Although this one we already did break through yesterday's high today. We're in the 35.61 right now on Ethereum. And so yeah, next stop is those lows from the first week of September in the high 3,000 area. So as a reminder, these crypto updates that we do every day are brought to you by Voyager. Here's how to get $50 in free Bitcoin. Step 1, download the Voyager app. Step 2, open an account, fund it with $100. Step 3, use the code ZING and make your first trade, and you will get $50 in free BTC. Link is in description. Voyager app, Voyager.com. All right.
Real quick, I just wanted to address two comments. James, appreciate the kind words. I am definitely trying to expand what we do here to try and help the group. Thank you for the kind words. And Solar Up says, Ryan, nobody wants you to expose yourself. Solar Up, you got that right. And I'm going to rely on the rest of my teammates here to make sure that I don't do anything stupid and expose myself. So heads up there. You're absolutely right.
What's going on?
Nobody wants anyone to expose themselves.
Exactly, and I'm running with that. I'm reassuring one of our viewers here that everything is going to be okay, guys. Everything is going to be okay.
Please don't expose yourself in your account or otherwise.
Oh my goodness. Okay. All right.
Bail us out of this, man.
I will bail us out. Go ahead and put up my charts here real quick. Let me know when they're up, please. You've got UPST. Why did I go ahead and add to the position, right? Because of the previous close. We've talked about it so many times on the show. Somebody fire me for repeating the same things.
You're fired.
It's a 16. Can I go ahead and fill out my jot form, please? Yeah. Look, you got the previous close, which will act as support and or resistance, right? UPST, as you can see, tested it right over here. So I said, hey, I'm going to go ahead and buy it. And that's where I went ahead and bought it for $2.20. And my stop loss would have been below. And my first target was right around this VWAP area, which when Spencer was doing the crypto update, I told you guys I'm out. And now I'm out a little bit more here around this 285 area. Now the rest, I'm going to hope to go ahead and get to this 290 area. But please, when you study, when you're trying to look at the markets, look at the power of previous closes, look at the power of VWAP. Why? Because if you go ahead and look at Palantir, and this isn't like hindsight, right? We called it out. Look at that. Came to VWAP, bounced. Came to VWAP almost there, bounce. Same thing right here. And then here, it didn't work. So you get out. It's perfectly fine. It's all about risk reward, right? You might risk 10 cents, but your profit is about 20 to 30 cents. You'll be perfectly fine. And the best example I can give you in terms of UPST or risk reward is right here. $2.20. I was maybe risking about 30-cent profit. Went ahead and grabbed about 60 cents. And now I grabbed about $1. And then we'll see what happens in the future. Learn risk reward. You don't have to FOMO. You don't have to chase. And that's my mantra.
Risk reward is everything. Loss potential is everything, right? Those are how you survive as a trader and investor, frankly.
It isn't just YOLO.
It's so you've got by the way IRNT near the VWAP right now. Let's see what happens here. I'm not in a position whatsoever. If you wanted to try to grab it, remember we talked about a base around $40, and there it was. It broke below, came back, based, continued higher. Let's see what happens above VWAP right here. And again, if you wanted to get in, $40 or so with a stop loss at let's say 39 would be the best way to go. I don't know why this keeps happening.
That's
but anyway,
guys, Zunaid, Ryan, and Mitch are on fire today. Okay, like drop them a like. Okay, I'm just sort of here to be here, but these guys are the ones carrying the show. So give them a like. They are crushing it.
Spencer, you are a constant input of good information and reminders and keeping us on track. Do not sell yourself short, my man. Do not sell yourself short. You are an integral part of what we're doing here. I want to address smash the like. That's right. I want to address a couple of things here. First of all, whatever the inside joke is that forced Mitch to turn his camera off, I got to know the deets on that, my man. I got to know what's going on. I got to know the inside joke there. And then real quick, there was another comment here. Ryan, I see you use Thinkorswim. Do you use the scanner for it? Tom, that's a great question. I tried to use the scanner when I first started Thinkorswim. I got mixed results with it over the course of my career. And once Benzinga released their scanner, I actually just used that more because it's much easier for me to use. Great. I'm not trying to borrow Spencer's term. I'm not trying to crap on the scanner. It's just a little bit more difficult to use. And unless you have something set up or something specific, I just use a different scanner. Great question.
Is Jason Raznick in the chat?
Hey,
no. Oh, I see.
Why is that so funny, huh?
I see.
It took Ryan about a second, but it's okay, Ryan. You were staring at a chart. It looked like, so I didn't want to bother you too much.
Yeah, no, I was like, what does that have to do with anything? But then I was like,
nah, Mitch tried real hard. By the way, Alyssa, if you're watching, that should be like a promo. When you're trying to get a promotion, this is how you should behave. Okay. By the way,
other thing I wanted to mention real quick. Earlier, I can't find the actual message, but earlier, I think it was MP shouted out Matterport. And we didn't talk about it because we were in the middle of something. Matterport is pushing the highs almost $21. This had multiple sweeps. I think it was last week. It was not earlier this week. They had a ton of sweeps. There was a rumor that this was going to be one of the trades on the last trade on CNBC's lunchtime program a week or two ago. Something's going on here. This is obviously pushing the highs. Great call by MT. MT, I think I said MP, MT, Matterport. Great call. You were on top of that.
All right. I keep my I'm not a huge technical analysis guy. I tend to keep. I've learned what I know mostly from Joel, and I keep it simple. And
I like that.
That simplicity is really, stocks breaking through, falling through support or breaking through resistance. And in this case, as I bring my chart up here, I mentioned it at the top of the show, but Ava's budget, guys, there is no overhead supply here. There is nothing but clear skies ahead. We are now up 8% today. Let's zoom in. We're next level is psychological, but that means nothing. It's $100. We're ripping. Why? I don't even know. Nor do I care. Should have just bought it a half hour ago when I mentioned it, but I didn't.
Terrible. I don't know if their earnings have come out, but I'm pretty sure their summer earnings are going to be pretty good there with a lot of. I mean, if you look at the other rentals and you look at the prices that they're going for, I mean, that's all you got to ask yourself.
If anyone's into leaps, if anyone's into leaps, you've got Palantir 25 strike for 2023 being purchased in the $1.5 million range.
Have you ever bought a leap? I'm just curious.
I did once when I was in college, 2011, bought Facebook $35 calls sold it when the stock was at about 45, thought I was the god of the world. And of course,
2011 expiring when?
it was so expired like maybe 2 years later. So it was like way down.
Yeah, all right.
Way down, give or take, right? Somewhere in that range. But I was like, yeah, this makes sense, right? Like, yeah, I think Facebook will be more than $9 in 2 years, whatever.
Zunaid, that was a good trade. That was a good trade.
It was a good trade, but that's the only time I've bought leaps, to answer your question. Besides that, no, I haven't. Would you mind pulling up my charts real quick? I want to talk about IRNT.
Yeah.
Don't ever tell me that we front run, I think is what the cool kids say, trades or anything like that. We said the $40 level is where you'd want to buy it, and look at that. Bounce right off of 40, tested VWAP, and you're getting out, right? What would your risk have been? Maybe about 50 to 75 cents, and the move you got is about $2. So it's all about that risk reward. So you let go some here if you follow that trade idea, and the rest you let go of it at break even or below, or you go ahead and see what happens later on. So you always want to take profits along the way, because if I didn't take profits here, I'd be back here, with UPST and all of that. So always take profits, know where your resistance is, and start racking up your account. Stop looking for home runs and 1,000% gainers. Take the base hits, take your 10%, 20%, whatever it is.
And real quick, ticker GREE, Golf Romeo Echo Echo. There are a number of people that were talking about this and asking about this. This does look like it's starting to push up. Now we're up about $6 off of the open. Yesterday's high, for context here, was $56. So we're $6 away from yesterday's intraday high. I guess technically the intraday high is a little bit higher than that, but this is the spot that I'm watching. This is where the big volume stick is. So this, like I said, there's a potential for this to move. I'm not in it. I don't trust it. I don't have that same gut feeling I traded on earlier, but it's definitely something to watch. Just kind of flirting with the 50 level here has been kind of over it, back and forth over it there a few times.
All right, I'm going to bring up a stock that I actually got stopped out today really quickly in ChargePoint. I was looking for a buy down here at 2030s because of the dailies and weeklies. You can see the support right there around the 2020s. Was looking to get this one back up towards the trend line, but I got a quick stop out immediately. It just kind of went right back down below that 2025. And I wasn't going to hold it there. But now it's at 2055. I did see someone mention it in the chat, how quickly it reclaimed VWAP. I mean, it's a good swing setup. That's why I kind of like it, but not necessarily for the day trade because I don't see that much momentum today. But it is setting up on a daily kind of swing trade.
Jeff Remy is asking about ticker HYLN. That's Hyliion. This is something that we talked about a lot.
How is Hyliion doing these days?
It's not doing
$8.
Hey, they're not pushing trucks at least.
So you're asking me for my thoughts. My thoughts are find something else to trade, but man, I actually tried to trade this last year right around Thanksgiving, got burned on it, lost on that trade. Don't really believe it. I feel like this is kind of a pretender company. If you have some information that I don't, I'd love to hear it.
Here's what I'll say about Hyliion.
Damn.
Here's what I'll say about Hyliion. Hyliion is a great example as to why the market may not necessarily does not have to match up with what you're thinking about the company, right? So I interviewed Thomas Healy, the CEO of Hyliion, last August, right? It's basically a year ago. And I was doing research for that, and after the interview, I was so impressed. I was so impressed that I actually bought the stock, which I'd never done before. I never bought a stock after talking to the CEO of the company, but I was blown away. I thought these guys know what they're doing. This was like right around the time that Nikola was starting to shit the bed, and so I was like, all right, these guys are not Nikola. These guys are smart. They're doing the powertrains. They're just attaching it to the trucks, and anyway, I bought the stock and I wrote it upward, and I sold it a couple months later because it got silly. But I still believe that. I still think it's a good company, but the bottom line is the market doesn't have to agree with you. And in this case, was it ever really worth the market cap at $40? The all-time high is 58. Was it ever really worth whatever the $58 or even 50 or 40 or 30? That's the question you got to ask yourself. Is eventually valuation does matter. I still think it's a good company. I still think like Thomas Healy is really smart, and I like what they're doing. I don't own the stock anymore. And if you do own it, you're probably going to have to just wait. You're probably going to have to just wait like a while, like years.
Well, see, that's the thing. We don't know how long it's going to take for the story to actually pan out. You're talking about some fundamentals here. I'm looking at this. We got a company with $1.5 billion market cap and no revenue. I'm going to look elsewhere.
Yeah,
I'm going to wait out and look elsewhere.
Mitch, I know why you made that noise. That was the weirdest noise ever. You can't speak. You're on timeout for about at least.
No. I want to hear what Mitch has to say.
I mean, you're saying years, but this is the true thing about HYLN, right? Is that they're not trying to. I mean, they got their new fleet, their new truck that they're trying to get out, right? But they're really more about retrofitting.
Yeah.
I think when you really look at it, that's the first move that fleets are going to take. They're not going to go ahead and just buy 60 trucks, right? Because it's going to be pretty expensive price tag. They're going to retrofit their trucks that they already have, so they can go more carbon neutral.
It makes sense. Everything that he said, I thought, yeah, this sounds like a really good idea. Clearly, that means nothing, because otherwise we wouldn't be down. What are we down, like 80%?
But the real question is, I mean, have you heard a lot of talk by companies about worrying about being carbon neutral this year?
It's a constant drum of companies wanting to become carbon neutral and wanting to address global warming.
Those headlines were more 2020 headlines than 2021 headlines.
I think, I don't know. It's been a pretty bad year in terms of like severe weather. I think we're not gonna. I think the drumbeat of companies wanting to become more environmentally friendly is not going away, and Hyliion helps with that.
But I think it did take a pause this year. I don't think it's on the forefront.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
I agree with you, Mitch. I agree with you. You guys are both kind of on to something here. Mitch, this was definitely something that was touted more in 2020. But Spencer, you're 100% right. Companies are not going to back off of this. It's not going to change. Companies are going to keep trying to do things that are going to be better for the environment in hopes that they're rewarded, not only with more business, but obviously helping the environment, which rewards all of us. So I mean, I don't know. I don't like trading on just that aspect. There has to be something else there for me, and there just isn't with this name.
Yeah, it's one of these cases. You might think it's a great company. You love the CEO, you love the business, you love the model, the whole thing. Sometimes it doesn't matter, unfortunately. And in this case,
you got to combine the story with other variables. The technicals just clearly tell you that it doesn't even matter the story.
Just an update. We are at 193 likes, 7 more, and Zunaid is going to buy a Yolo call. And another update is I'm really hungry.
Good. Well, you keep talking about that hunger. Someone asked in the chat, by the way.
When does that end? Is that sundown?
And it's
like fasting.
6:30 in Detroit nowadays. 7.
Wait, Ryan.
What time does the sun go down?
Well, so okay, like the sun goes like not everybody waits till sunset. Something my family growing up, we never waited till sunset. We always like jumped the gun, right? But my fiance and her family, they wait till sunset. So that's like 8 o'clock. It's like after. It's whenever the services end, which is like 8:30. So
what are you doing?
Oh, Spencer doesn't even need to answer that. I know the answer to that. Happy wife, happy life. He's doing
I'm not supposed to eat until 8:30 p.m.
No.
I got the supposed to, Spencer. I'm asking you, what are you gonna do?
I'm not supposed to eat until 8:30 p.m.
Got it. Jason Rasnick, Wingstop being brought in for lunch.
Jason is not here. Jason's at services right now. I promise you. Jason is not here.
That's like fasting. That's pretty awesome. I like it.
Jason,
good question though. Can you drink water? Can you
drink water? How fasting we talking?
You're not supposed to drink water. You're allowed to for like medical reasons, but you're not supposed to drink anything.
Hey, dude, Ryan, you ready?
That is torture.
Ryan, you ready?
Yeah.
Hey, Spencer, I get what you're supposed to do and what you're not supposed to do, but what are you doing?
I mean, I may have had some coffee today.
Live on stream. Somebody send us to
Spencer. I have a question. I have a question for a loophole. You can't eat or drink. If you just took Zip Fizz powder and you consumed it somehow, would that violate?
If you've never heard of Zip Fizz, we call it the Benzinga Speedball. It's basically a Zip Fizz coffee combination.
Oh my god!
Oh my goodness.
We're getting way off topic here.
We are.
That's why he gets the full screen. We get to hide on that one.
Someone asked in the chat, by the way, if I was still in Palantir. No, I had this trade. I had a couple of them, maybe about 3 trades, round trips. 2 of them were profitable. One of them I had a stop loss, but I got back in. I am out of majority of the position at 28. Now the rest I'm holding. My stop loss will be below VWAP. You should be in profit if you went ahead and took this trade along with the UPSC, which I'm still holding. I will sell it around the 289 area. The high of day at the moment is about, what is that? What's the high on UPST? About 288. So I missed it by like $1.50, give or take.
David Eisman says, "I think I can see donut crumbs on Spencer's."
No. Yeah, I do have these. I do have these on my desk.
There you go, baby. Get your snacks.
There you go.
I was going to steal one of those, Spencer, but I didn't know if I was going to catch anything from stealing one.
That's funny. No,
You guys are crazy.
Let's have to lem. When I'm day trading like this, I predominantly use a 1-minute chart. I'll flip back to the daily chart like I have up now on Palantir. But I will also kind of try to take a glance at a 5-minute chart and see if there's another formation forming here. Like, for example, when I look at the 1-minute chart here on Palantir, I do see like a kind of a powerful push and retracement, but it looks like the sentiment was kind of shifting. If I switch that over to a 5-minute chart, I have a different picture, right? This just looks like a normal, healthy pullback and continuation on an upward move. So it's always a good idea to use most of them. Personally, when I'm doing what we're doing here, I would say I use the daily chart 40% of the time, the 1-minute chart the other 40% of the time, and then the 5-minute chart the remaining 20% of the time. I hope that helps.
All right, we are at 218 likes, which means Zunaid.
What?
All right.
Come on,
play?
guys.
So someone's in the chat asking, do you play vertical spread calls or puts? I don't. I did in the past. No, not really. It just gets a little too complicated for me. Like, I know how to trade them, but for me, I just prefer directional. It's just a lot easier, basically because of my stop losses and things like that. Now, if I was swinging a bunch of calls, right, like a month out, 2 months out, things like that, then yeah, I would go ahead and do that. If I bought like a leap, then I would sell, closer dated calls, things like that. To answer your question, though, no, I'm mainly doing directional trades, calls or puts, one way or another, not doing any spreads. Let's do this. First person in the chat. Spencer, do you have like a riddle that you like, by the way? Or anyone? Do you have a riddle?
Do we have like a go-to riddle?
Do you have a go-to riddle? Anyone?
Like a go-to.
I mean, the go-to riddle is the one that I stole from Die Hard 3, but I don't know if that's what you're looking for.
Well, if you'd like, why don't you ask the riddle and the first person in the chat to answer it and give me a YOLO, I'll go ahead and buy that.
All right, I just Googled best riddles, so let's do it.
Yeah, well, you know what? You might be making fun of Spencer right now, but we actually probably should do that. Mine's a little complicated, and you have to kind of follow along. Might be
okay. All right.
Here we go, Spencer.
I have one that I just remembered this one. I didn't look it up, but I remembered it. Let me see if I can remember how to tell it. So, people that buy me don't want to buy me. People that use me don't know they're using me. What am I?
I won't answer what I think it is, but Spencer, first person that answers in the chat with also the YOLO that you want me to take. Again, keep it like,
okay,
$300 or less.
Mo Herbert was the first one.
All right, Mo. $300 or less, Mo. Tell me what you want us to buy.
Wait, I like Chef Remy's answer though. Insurance. Mo Herbert.
Insurance.
All right, so real quick, while you come up with a thing there, or with a YOLO there, I would like to address Steve Hutchinson, who said, 1, the answer from Die Hard is 1. So you're referring to the riddle that Simon gives John McClane at the beginning. And I think that's something, and I'm going off memory here, so forgive me. As I was going to St. Ives, I met a man with 7 wives. Every wife had 7 sacks. Every sack had 7 cats. Every cat had 7 kittens. Kittens, cats, sacks, and wives. How many are going to St. Ives? My number is 555, and the answer.
Wow, that's really good, man. How many times have you seen that movie?
Die Hard 3, conservatively estimating 100.
He's a conservative.
I mean, Die Hard
DTR,
3 is. I grew up on the Die Hard movies, guys. Like John McClane, like that whole thing. I mean, oh man, those Die Hard movies. The riddle that I was going to talk about was not that one though. It was you have a 5-gallon jug and a 3-gallon jug. How do you get exactly 4 gallons into one of them without using a measuring device?
Yeah, this is a good one. Mo Herbert, drop a ticker in the chat. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I mean, so drop something that like, I can lose money or make money this week, and let me know the strike. Let me know the ticker, the strike, and the expiration obviously will be this week. So let us know.
Odessa,
keep it $300 or less.
Odessa Home. What is the answer to the meaning of life? The answer is that it ends, my friend.
Damn. On that note,
I didn't mean for that to be morbid. That's the meaning. The meaning of life is to live it because it ends. I mean, it's not.
Go to
it's not
Macy's,
like a
bro.
morbid
Go buy
thing.
some clothes.
what?
Looks like everybody else is buying clothes. So,
There's no way this was
really
hold
easy
on.
setup today on Macy's. I think that should have been definitely the trade that I look at. Hindsight
Ryan is
2020.
cold.
Yeah.
But with the retail sales coming out, look at that VWAP bounce there, pushing back up there towards 2250. That would have been an awesome trade right there.
Hey, we finally we have a red candle in bros in coffee
Bros?
in bros. Finally, first one, Dutch Brothers, whatever it's called. Finally, on the 15-minute chart, we have a red candle. It's taken us almost an hour on the 15-minute chart, but yeah, this thing is getting around. I'm seeing on social media. Everyone's.
I'll tell you one that's also reversed. Also, it did go down right out the gates, but now coming back up. SRAD, the Sports Radar one.
Oh yeah, they IPO from yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good call out.
What did that
UPSD.
IPO at, Spencer? Do you remember?
What Ryan? What?
SRAD. Do you remember what that IPO'd at by chance?
Yeah, it IPO'd at. It opened at the IPO price, didn't it? It didn't even get a pop. It was
27.
27. Okay. Yes, and this was on Tuesday. It looks like, yeah, the 14th. Interesting. I have no angle on SRAD. I do like to kind of try to stay on top of the IPOs, but I don't have an angle on that one.
Matt Hammond, if you're watching, I cannot wait to hear how you traded Dutch Brothers, whatever this company's called.
I hope he has the bros.
He probably does. This is a big gainer. It's a big gainer.
And he likes day 2, right?
He loves the second day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see, Matt, I listen out there.
By the way, on UPST, went ahead and missed my 289 target by 15 cents. I'm a little upset, but that's okay. That's okay. You can see the high right there, 288.85. And my profit target was 289. Let's see if we go ahead and get that out. I just nope, didn't get filled. I'm looking at my option. There we go. Now we just got filled at $5. I'm out of the 290 calls. I only have a couple left. That I'm going to hope that it gets to 300 by tomorrow. Stop loss will be at break even. And hope people in the chat went ahead and purchased that. If you did, let us know in the chat. Tag us on Twitter. Tag us. Benzinga,
Whoa.
Ryan.
Elite Trading saying you called live the 110 strike puts for Starbucks. Wait until November and go long. I got to ask you, is that waiting till November to go long part? Does the pumpkin spice latte have anything to do with that trade thesis?
Already out, bro.
Oh yeah.
It's already out.
No, I know, but don't you want to see people talking about that a lot and drinking it a lot, and you want to see them, right? You want to wait a little bit. You don't want to just get it right when it's out. I'm just wondering if he's trying to like factor that into. Yes, in caps. He's type yelling. Yeah.
He's type yelling. I'm here for it. I love it.
Ticker BZ. Up in here.
BZ.
Yeah,
Trying to be Benzinga. Right?
Okay.
Chinese name.
We might have to have a talk with them.
I'm gonna buy him out.
I feel like if we went public, it'd be Zing. That would be the
Yeah, you're right.
right. It'd be Zing. Zing is so much more of a WSB ended up on that subreddit type stock.
And
Zing.
it's open.
And it's available. Yeah,
It's
right.
available. We got to do that.
Or maybe somebody gets a little greedy and decides to go with that. If you guys can see the ticker that I have up, Luke. Maybe Luke wants a ticker to be Luke.
Was that Luke? No.
I like Zing though. I'm a fan of Zing. But anyway, UPST finally went ahead and hit my target. So I'm out of that trade. Just a couple left. It's a YOLO to 300.
Okay, we just made another new low of the day a couple minutes ago in the overall market.
Yep.
No looking bueno.
So just something to have on your radar. We are red in every sector's in the red. We got way more red than green on the screen. Okay, just making sure everyone's aware of that.
Yeah, just looking back at it, I mean, seasonality in at least September is always known to be kind of a weak month. And if you actually look at the data, you'll see that it's weaker actually towards the end of the month than the beginning of the month. So I think a little part of me is also like, man, I knew this at the beginning of September. What am I doing right now? I've been struggling this week. I have a couple of swing trades have gone against me. And a lot of that has been the overall market because like, if you look at Airbnb, it's still looking good, but those big dip days in the market have really stopped me out on my swing trades.
All right. Go ahead.
Wait, is CTRM optionable, Zunaid?
Yeah, it is. And that's what I was about to say. If you want to, we can try to focus it on my.
Can't see that.
You can't.
Wait.
Give me the close up. Give me the close up.
All right, hold
So I
on.
went ahead and purchased it. A whole bunch of contracts, as you can
Boom.
see there.
Oh,
I don't know
man.
here. Let
Look
me
at
try
those
this.
notifications.
Oh,
So those are my sells on UPST. Whoop. You can see my sells. That way you know that I wasn't lying, right? You can see my sells, but those are all the buys there as well. Purchased it. I don't know why you picked this stock, but you did. So I went ahead and put $160 into it. Let's see what happens.
no, I'm
Let's see what
doing,
happens.
I'm doing it for you. Oh man.
I have look at this ticker. Like, where am I supposed to go with this? But I bought it.
I don't know.
I bought it. But come on, you could have did me a little better. Tell me like IRNTE or something. You made me buy a 15-cent option, but I went ahead and bought 10. So I spent $160 on it.
And the most you can lose is $160.
Yeah, that's all right.
What else was I about to say here?
Real quick, Spencer, can you flip over to my screen? I wanted to make a real quick comment on the SPY. The trend that we're currently in has been any sell-offs have been to the 50 and we've bounced. And so if we look back here, as far as January 28th, it looks like the first time we did this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. And here 9 times, guys, but here we are up at this current pullback to the 50. We're not quite there. Looks like maybe we will get there. To me, the question is, do we actually bounce from here or do we snap this and trade back down? If we do, 435 looks like a reasonable target, downside target here. But again, we have to see if this is going to materialize here. So this is kind of what I'm watching in terms of overall market. This is a real steep uptrend. We've bounced off the 50. Let's see if we do that the next time.
All right, guys, it's 10:30. Let's go around the horn here. Get some final thoughts before I bring on Tony Benson. We'll start with whoever wants to start. I don't know.
I will start. I'm going to take a look at the SPY. That's what I'm going to be watching for the rest of the day here. We had a nice little exciting morning until the SPY shows a little bit more strength here. I might be a little bit more risk off in some of the trades the rest of the day. I'm going to be thinking about all of the delicious food that I'm going to be having that Spencer is going to be able to enjoy later tonight. So sending you good vibes to get you through the day so that you can have a great evening tonight, Spencer.
Is your name?
Castor Maritime, whatever the hell it is that your company does, get a press release out there. Get it to $3 or something so I can get out of my YOLOs. By the way, we'll get out of these at 30 cents.
That's a shipping stock, isn't it?
Man, I don't know what it is, but they need to ship some stuff. They need to release a press release that they're working with Amazon or something.
Vernon Lamb, great spot on the 9 times Ferris Bueller's Day reference. You nailed that. And
Mitch.
All right, guys. So I have been struggling with some swing trades, but I am going to take one more. I do have Run right now. Going to take that one. Been waiting for the solar push.
You can't quit your solar, can you?
I mean, I've made some money, but I've also gotten some to knock me down. So I'm pretty much break even. But I can tell you, at least industry-wise, it's still being called out. And I think you'll still see that winter push going into the winter months. Pub M is another one that I have. I got that one around 28.35. We'll see if that one can continue to move. And I'll just look at it. I mean, right now, what I've been trying to do is kind of limit the capital right now because September has not been doing well for the swing trades. So I'm just going to hold off and see if we can get the momentum to come back and limit the capital downside. So as long as we do get losses, it's going to be with probably about half the position size, which will really help when we go back into it. I always like to say when the river's flowing, go ahead and push on the risk. When you don't see it flowing, go ahead and start building that dam to slow it down.
All right, guys, drop a like for Mitch, for Zunaid, or for Ryan, or for all of them. Guys, thanks a lot. We will see. Mitch, we'll see you in a half hour on Spack Stack. Ryan, Zunaid, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place. Let's bring on Tony Benson from Patterns in a Flash. Joins us every Thursday at this time to go through what patterns he's watching. Tony, let's share your charts. Good morning. How are we doing?
Hey, good morning. How you doing, Spencer?
Doing okay. Watching the market dip again as I bring up my charts for a second because I just want to point out, and I know a lot of this is hindsight 2020 here, but look at just how every move is faded, right? Every overnight move seems to be faded, right? I'll pick a day arbitrarily. I'll just pick the overnight session from the 8th to the 9th, right? We rally into the open, fade that rally overnight, fade that rally overnight, fade that rally overnight, fade that rally overnight. Actually, no, we didn't rally, so here it didn't work yesterday, but now we're fading the rally from yesterday today. So it's just a market that wants to fade whatever is happening, whether it's a rally or a dip, we're going to fade it. And that's the theme of the day here, theme of the month for the moment. What are you seeing out there?
Yeah, that's what I've been seeing too. The last week and a half is just every time there's buying coming in, the selling pressure overwhelms it and takes it back down. So, which is okay with me right now. I've been waiting for this pullback, ready for it. I actually got into some bearish positions before it took off to the downside. So,
all right, bring up your charts and tell us about it. What do you win and what'd you see?
Share screen. There we go.
There we go.
Actually, funny thing, today looking for a little bit of a pop, actually was expecting the market to move back up. A lot of them building a little bit of bases. A lot of like Uber, for example, I'll bring that up in the left corner. And these are all the ones I'm looking at for day trades right now. So beautiful little base. And this is just a 5-minute chart. Nice little base Uber's made. In fact, obviously I missed that. It was gone before I got a chance to get into it. So, but this right here, what I'm seeing the last day or two is this. It's basically an inverted head and shoulders, double top, triple bottom, whatever you want to call it. The end result is ultimately the same. And that one's taken off without me, which is fine.
So that was Uber.
Yeah. And then save. Again, these are day trades. I got some other swing trades we can go to in a minute, but same thing. Nice little base it's building and it's taking off to the upside. I'm waiting for this with the market dropping off like it is. I'm not terribly excited about taking a really bullish position on something. So I basically was just waiting for this to see what was going to happen. It's popping up. If it sits and dances around a little bit more, I may get into that. I'm going to wait on that one. Fubo is another one that same thing. I was going to wait for a little bit to see if it would retest the bottoms. If it takes off without me, no big deal. But a nice little uptrend, nice little base over the last couple of days it's built here. And looking for just a quick little pop, little launch to the upside. So we'll see what happens with that one.
I wrote down a couple of the stocks that you had talked about 2 weeks ago, last time you were on. We talked about American Airlines at 25.
Yep.
I don't know if you ever took a position in that, but I hope you didn't. I don't think actually, I don't know if it ever got there. No, it never did get there.
So there's American Airlines, and actually 2 days ago, I think I entered some puts on it because I love the looks of this. Got a huge downside potential, obviously about $4 or so. 1913 is the entry point. My target's 15.12, basically $15. So about $4 potential on $20 stock. That's a good 20% move if it does. So, but yeah, I did pick up some puts on that to the downside. So hopefully it plays out and drops off. That's what I'm looking for.
What about Airbnb? You said 153.30 was the target there.
Yeah, that came up. I know I heard you guys talking about it just a little bit ago. So there's the trading plan on Airbnb, and it's still playing out well. And where's it at right now? This is a daily chart. This is my end of day charting.
So so we've got here. Explain again for people that don't remember the green line, the red line, yellow line, what those mean.
So the red line is my stop. So in this situation, again, this is another one a lot like the intraday trades, right? We've got a nice little base. It builds a double bottom, and then it broke out above that 153.30 area. So what I'm looking for then is a move to the upside. So the first thing I do is put the red line on, which is my stop. Basically where I'm getting out. If the trade doesn't work out, that's where I'm getting out. And then the green line is the target that I'm looking for. So the first thing I do is figure out, okay, what's my risk? How much am I willing to risk on this trade? If it goes against me, where do I no longer believe it's going higher? So I put the red line on, and the green line is the target. So 172 is the next resistance level. But I put it shy of that just in case it doesn't get all the way there, because it sometimes turns around early, right? So I put the target at 169. And then I just use those two numbers to put into my risk reward calculator. So I get a 3-to-1 risk reward. And then the orange line, so in this case, I'll just show you it real quick. So in this case, with Airbnb, the stop is 151.48. And I just color code them just for memory's sake. And the stop is obviously the place I don't necessarily want to get out at, but that's where it goes if it does. And then green's where I hit the money, right? So those were the two thought processes when doing those. The orange was the only bright line that was available really that you could see well. Pink didn't work, which I'm not a fan of pink anyway, and magenta and whatever those lavender colors are. So then the calculator spits out a 3-to-1 risk reward. So I've got $4 of risk and $13 of upside. So those numbers, the green, red, and orange lines are basically just calculated based on 3-to-1. So I figure out the stop first, the target, and then the entry point is just mathematics. Because, I heard you guys talk about risk reward and how important it is. And it is. It is one of the biggest things. I think it's one of the most important things to do, mostly for mental. Because if you know that you get out of one, if you have 3-to-1 risk reward, right? You can lose on 2 trades and win on 1, and you're still profitable.
Exactly. It's about limiting the losers and the winners. Right.
Yeah, that's exactly why I utilize this. It's more of a mental thing. It's when you realize that you don't have to write that often. All of a sudden, I just relaxed. It's like, who cares if it goes against me? If it stops me out, don't care.
Right.
Make sense?
All right. So let's go back to that watch list you had up, or the 6 charts you had up earlier, and let's see what else you got.
All right. See if it was Fiserv, I think. Did we hit Fubo?
Yeah, we had Fubo. We had
Fubo. Yes, I thought.
We had Save. We got DDD. We got Penn, and we got Fiserv.
This is one I am waiting for. Actually, just before we started, I dropped an order out there to see if it takes off to the upside. So another one, all of these are basically just building a nice base. This has got a longer one. This was going to be going for a few days. Build a nice little base. We got a nice little short-term uptrend. So if it takes off from here to the upside, then I'll get long right there. Was at 125.63. Looking for a target of 127. Again, this is just a day trade. This is a 5-minute chart. So just looking for the possibility of a quick pop, especially with the market being where it's at. If it's getting oversold, then it very well could take off to the upside. But this thing's breaking down right now, as you can see. So I'll probably, if this thing keeps dropping or it stays below that trend line, I'll be killing that order here in a minute.
Let's go to Penn. I'm talking to the CEO of Penn tomorrow morning.
Are you?
Yeah, let's see what you think of that chart.
What time's that at? I want to hear it.
8:30.
Okay. 8:30 Eastern time, right?
That's it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's super early here.
Yep.
But I'm usually up anyway. So another one, this doesn't have quite as nice a base as some of the other ones, but it has been building that little bit of base there. Of course, there's the trend line, which is tagging right now. I'm going to take that off. So this was a nice one yesterday to the downside, but today I'm looking for a bounce to the upside. Again, if it holds this level, then I'd be getting long. But like I say, I'm not terribly excited about taking long positions with the market conditions the way they are until the market itself builds more of a base. I'm not terribly excited about going long on stocks. So, and as you can see, this thing's dipping right now. So if it comes back, if it hits this 76 again and starts dancing around there and then starts to move higher, I'd probably put a hook up there. What's that? 76.32. I'd probably look at getting long right about that spot if it comes down here and bounces at the 76. So in other words, that would create a double bottom.
And those are good levels to lean on, right?
So it can be, yeah.
Yeah.
It just depends on, you never know, right? It's a 50-50 shot whether or not they work out. Yeah, there goes FIS. I'm going to kill that order on FIS. I don't want to get in there now.
So these 6 stocks, these are the 6 that you've like zeroed in on today. As of right now, yeah. Yeah. How would you get to these though? Like, what was the process to narrow it down?
How did I get to them?
Yeah. Like, what was the process to narrow your watch list down today?
Well, let me pull this down.
Every day.
So I have got, let's see if I can get the right watch list up. See if I can detach this real quick. There we go. And we'll connect those. So I'm a patterns guy, right? I don't know if I can bring that back up. There we go. So all I look for is patterns. I don't have any particular bias. I don't care what stock is what. Let me get this rearranged real quick here. Oops. I will just go through and literally start flipping through and looking for any specific pattern. And this is my process. This is one thing I learned over 20 years ago when I started studying and learning patterns, that they're extremely powerful, as you all know. And it's just a matter of, so there's AVTR. Another one, a nice little base. There's basically an inverted head and shoulders there over the last few days, which would lead to a potential pop. So that's something I would put on my list. I'd just drag it into a different list. So I've got a long watch list. This one's got, I don't know how many stocks are on here, 150, 200 probably. And then I'll just move that to a separate list. I basically just narrow it down. It's kind of like a funnel, right? I'll start with 150, 200 stocks and flip through looking for a specific pattern. There's a nice little triple bottom.
How long does it take you, like when you look at a chart for the first time on any given day? How long will you look at any given chart for? 10 seconds? Less? More?
Oh, yeah, less. I mean, this is what I'm doing right now. What you see me doing is exactly how quickly I go through it.
Okay.
Now, that doesn't happen instantly, obviously. It's one of those things where you got to train your eyes to recognize the patterns, right? There's a kind of a double bottom, which is really, there's another nice little base building, which is really what, that's what this entire tool is all about. I think I told you that originally, is that inside this tool, there's flashcards. And the purpose, just like when you did math, right? As a kid,
yep.
2 + 4 is 6, right? And you just go through flashcards over and over again to train your eyes to recognize it. And now as an adult, you're just a kid. I heard you say the other day you're in your 30s, right?
Yeah.
So, but that is the purpose of this, is just to train your eyes to see the patterns.
That's really good. Can you drop the link in here? What's the link for that again? Do I have it?
Yeah, you do. Let me see if I can grab it again real quick. I know I have it here. Just see if we can find it. Yeah, there's a short link here.
So if this is from James in the chat, Tony, how fast every day do you get a headache from looking at those charts so quick?
It's a good question. I don't, very rarely at least. That's probably how much coffee I drink.
Yeah.
Drink coffee all day long. So
that'll do it.
Let's see, where's.
Yeah, what you can do is you can also message me privately, and I can put it in the chat.
I think I'll probably have to do that this way.
And then, because I think that's a useful tool for people that want to learn about patterns. There we go.
Yeah, and then there's over 80 hours of video on here too, because obviously one of the things, and that's one of the things that I was frustrated when I first started with, was I learned about the patterns by reading books. Because in the old days, we didn't have technology to do this, right? So I'd read books, I saw the power of the patterns, and then I'd recognize them, but it would be too late. It'd be in the middle of the chart, and you can't do anything with it then. The trade's already played out. So out of my own frustration, not being able to recognize the patterns, I created the flashcards for myself so that I could see them on the right side as they're developing, so that I don't get a headache when I do this. And it does take some time to practice, just like anybody with flashcards, right?
Yep.
But I'll go through. I'm usually on the chart for 1, maybe 2 seconds. And there's Dropbox. That's one I was watching this morning as well. Nice little inverted head and shoulders. But once you do the repetition, you spend 5 minutes a day on that. And it was 2 or 3 weeks before I spent just a few minutes a day flipping through flashcards. And within 2 or 3 weeks, I was starting to see them on the right side. So
what about
then you got to know what to do with it afterwards as well. So
couple tickers from the chat for you, and if you guys have more questions, Tony, drop your tickers in there. What about AMD?
AMD, that's what I've been watching too. Okay, so that's a 5 minute. Let me look. I think that's more of a swing trade I'm looking at, but yeah, there it is. It's on my list. So it's kind of a symmetrical triangle. It's not really a flag pattern. It's taken too long to play out, but this is one that, and where's it at today again? It's now 104.79. Oh my, it's tweaking out. So it's still sitting in there. It's gotten too far into the apex really to consider a valid symmetrical triangle. But if it breaks to the upside, as long as it holds that lower line about 105, then I'd be bullish to about 120 if it breaks to the upside.
So hold 105. If
it holds that 105 area, which is right there.
Well, we're below it now.
So let's say, today, intraday right now at least.
So on
it's
the close,
sitting right about there. So we'll see how it closes. If it closes above 105, and this would be a swing trade, not a day trade for me. So, and just to do it real quick, just since I know you brought it up, as far as the process, putting stuff on here real quick. Do we have a few minutes?
Yeah.
Whoops. That's not what I wanted. I'm not thinking. There we go. So I'd probably put this right below the low of yesterday. And again, this is an end of day charting I use. It's Omega charts available at Wealth Builders. So I'd go the low of yesterday. I'd go just below that. So that's where my stop would be. So the first thing is to stop. It's always about managing the risk first. And then get the calculator out. What was that? Oh.
That was just a message. That was nothing important. I got that too.
Yeah, exactly. Up was 103.59. The target is about 120. We'll just put it up there close. We'll call it 119.66. Make that green for the target because that's where we're hitting the money. Oops. Drop that in there, hit tab, 107.61. So we got $4 of risk and $12 of upside.
Nice risk reward, 3-1.
Yep. It was pretty eye-opening when I realized how critically important that was. It took me a long time to get there.
Let's do some more tickers in the chat, guys. We've got 9 minutes left. Drop them in. I'm seeing. You want to look at Fuel Cell? FCEL had earnings this week.
Yeah, and they had a nice little pop off of it.
They did.
Which is. So one of the first things, I always go back and look at the long-term picture first. Draw some lines on there. That thing's got, well, if it doesn't hold that 555, then 340 is the next level. So the question is, will it hold that level? I would wait for this thing to pull back, and as long as it holds that 555 and it starts to move off there, because the upper end of the range really is right there. It's kind of stuck in there right now. If it either breaks out of that 659, that upper level, or it comes back and holds this 555 and bounces off there, that's where I'd be looking at it taking a bullish position. What else we got?
Ticker is Target. I haven't looked at Target for a hot second.
I saw Bros on there, and I heard you talking about that yesterday.
Oh man, the IPO. It sells Starbucks by Dutch brothers. Apparently, I don't know.
Yeah, I thought they started my hometown, but they started in basically the next biggest town south of us, which is about an hour south. I think the second one was in my hometown.
Oh man, I never heard of this company before Monday.
Yeah, it's big out here. It's popular where, I mean, the lines are 15, 20 deep almost all the time.
Can I ask why? What exactly is so good about it? Do we know?
They have a bunch of unique kind of drinks. It's coffee, right? It's like Starbucks, but
Okay.
they've got different kinds of stuff. They're very sweet. They're sugary. They taste delicious. I'm more of a black guy. I mean, I drink my coffee black most of the time, unless I want dessert, and then I'll go there for a dessert type of coffee. But I'm not in love with them.
Okay.
Their drip coffee or their Americano is not that great.
Okay.
But
anyway, I'll have to try it. All right. So how's Target doing?
yeah, obviously a long-term bullish trend. Short-term, it's obviously not doing spectacular, but see where this thing may dig in if it does pull down. The long-term trend, obviously, over the last year and a half is pretty solid. There's not much to hold it right here at 240. If it drops from there, right around 230, probably somewhere in that 230 range is where it may dig in. If it doesn't dig in there, then 213, which would break the longer term trend. So I don't see anything right now that I would trade it on.
Okay.
I wouldn't be looking at anything on Target right now. So what else we got?
I did see that Easy Mike, the Toll Brothers and Sun Power just announced a partnership. So let's stick to the charts here for a few more minutes. Let's do.
Wait, did you say Toll Brothers and Sun Power just announced a partnership?
Yeah, I saw it a couple minutes ago. It's a exclusive agreement to provide solar and storage to Toll Brothers homes in California. So Sun Power is going to be a solar provider to Toll Brothers homes. That makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, it does make sense. That sounded at first.
Yeah. Let's go to, okay, fine. Palantir. Fine.
That one popped up on my radar. Whoops. Yeah, this is another one that in a nice range. And obviously, I mean, this trading plan that was in place worked out well over about, 6 weeks. So it's, but it's at that upper end of the range there at 27. So the question becomes, what does it do from here? And how do you trade it? If it drops off, if it gave me any kind of signal, any kind of indication, a bearish signal, some kind of candlestick pattern, an evening star, bearish engulfing, shooting star, anything like that here at 27, then I'd be looking at a bearish play. But if it breaks out at 27 to the upside, then you can adjust this trading plan and move it up to, let's see, where's the next major level? That's the next point. So if you're bullish on it, then obviously there is some potential to the upside if it breaks above that 27. So I would just adjust these up. I'm assuming that we're talking about a bullish potential here, right?
I'm assuming that too.
782. So there's the new plan if it breaks out above 27. And actually, looking at the volume, it's had pretty steady volume as it's rallied up to this from 21 to 27. The volume has increased, which is a good bullish sign. So I like the looks of this now on a break to the upside. I want to add that to my own list. What else is coming up? Anything?
Yeah, I'm trying to find ones whose charts don't look.
Oh, it's at 28.45 right now. So I'll see. I'm looking at end of day instead of. So it's already way up there, which makes sense. So Then if it pulls back, so 27.82 is actually right here. So if we get a pullback today, and as long as it doesn't tank, then there may still be some opportunity there. Obviously, lots of volume coming in. The news is driving it. The question is, how far will the news drive it? And that's always the tricky question.
What about this one? Doesn't have a ton of price history, but DATS, DATS.
DATS.
Yeah. Only a couple months old.
Okay.
Well, 1 month old, really.
Whoa. Yeah, I'm going to look at it here real quick. What do these guys do? Dat chat?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what's tricky. I mean, especially, looking at patterns, there's not really enough time to develop any kind of pattern here, except for candlestick patterns, which there's not really anything here either, other than, a doji yesterday, unless we're looking at an intraday chart and looking for, a day trade, which I don't know if that's. And from an intraday perspective, I mean, it built a nice little base there about 7, taking off. I mean, there's a possibility for it to run from 740 up to 820 today if it takes off like it did yesterday morning. So I can see day trading this from a swing trade, position type of trade. There's nothing on the daily chart that says anything, but possible day trade here.
All right, guys. Tony Benson joins us every Thursday. You can find more of his insights, his philosophy, his ideas, his charts, patternsinaflash.com. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Okay, patternsinaflash.com.
It's available. It's also available at wealthbuildershq.com. So
wealthbuildershq.com. All right, Tony, thanks a lot, man. Have a good one.
Thanks, Spencer. You too.
All right, guys, got to wrap it up here. Our next show is SPAC's Attack, coming up live in a minute. We're talking to Jared Yuster, the co-CEO of Pico. Ticker FTAA is the SPAC that they're merging with. I'm going to put the link in the chat right now. There it is. SPAC's Attack is coming up next with Mitch and Chris, followed by the Power Hour. We're talking to Joby Aviation today, JOBY, on Power Hour. So that's a wrap for me here. Please remember, all the information from our show is meant to be used as informational purposes only, not for investing or trading advice. Are we at 300 likes? Get me to 300 likes, guys. 300. That's what I want to see. It's a nice round number. I think we can do it. In fact, I know we can do it. I know we can all do it together. I've liked it, and now you should too. All right, that's a wrap for me. I'll see you guys a little bit later, potentially on SPAC's Attack. If not, then later on for the At the Close show. No Joel today for At the Close, but I'll be on with you at 3:30 regardless. So we got SPACs, Power Hour, Get Technical, the Roadmap, our NFT show, 2 o'clock Eastern time. And if I don't see you guys at Power Hour, I will see you at 3:30 for the At the Close show. Everyone, have a good rest of your day. Good luck. Stay green, stay filled. And SPAC's Attack coming up live right now. Link is in the chat, youtube.com/Benzinga TV. I will be tuning in, and you should too.